Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again for the one time on this Friday. Um, the week is over. This week went by fast. It really did. But either way, I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things as far as the upcoming draft. This whole thing about who the Cowboys gonna pick, and I've just been hearing fans sound off on it in general. But before I get into that, oh yeah, I did get my hair cut though. That thing smooth though. Yep, just came from the barber shop. Just gotta, you know, trying to get right for the weekend. But this is the thing. So we talked about uh, the draft coming up at the end of this month. Now, those of you that don't know, uh, I don't even know why I'm plugging them because they don't sponsor the channel. But Fanatics.com, they sell the draft hats and things of that nature. I already ordered mine, so I have mine when I live stream for the draft. Definitely got to have the draft hat every year as a YouTuber. Just got to I have to do that. That's my civic duty is to have the draft hat every year. Got to represent. Now, um, we've talked many times about where the direction of this team is going. We do this every offseason, right? We bitch and complain and moan and groan about, not getting this guy in free agency, not getting that guy in free agency, this, that, and the third, right? We know that Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl since the 95 season, after the 95 season. Technically 96, but, after the 95 season. Have not won an NFC title since about that time as well. We've gone through how many quarterbacks since 95? You finally had a quarterback when you got Tony Romo. You wasted his years with having Jason Garrett on the staff. Now, and I can't be too hard on Jason Garrett because the Joneses are to blame for some of this too. But between the front office and the coaching, because we've had talent on this team, you know what I mean? We've seen teams with lesser talent than the Cowboys in the past. Because there's been Patriot teams when Tom Brady was a Patriot where the overall talent on the team was not better than the overall talent on the Dallas Cowboys. We've wasted a lot of talent, a lot of guys' careers, a lot of guys that are in the Ring of Honor, a lot of guys that are in the Hall of Fame and or are going to be in the Hall of Fame soon. We wasted a lot of their careers by not giving them rings. Some of them might have went to another team and got a ring, or they never did. But whatever the situation is, it's the Cowboys' own fault why they haven't been winners. They shoot themselves in the foot all the time. We know this as fans. So we got to be smarter as fans and stop going with the narrative of what you hear these talking heads talking about and understand your team as your team. These talking heads are not fans of the Dallas Cowboys. They don't really follow the Dallas Cowboys. They just look at stats. They just look at certain games here and there and they don't understand the inner workings. They don't understand what's going on. Now, neither we don't know what's going on behind closed doors either, but we have a better chance of understanding if you're a true fan, if you pay attention. It's all about paying attention to how Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, all the Joneses, this coaching staff, past coaching staffs, whatever the situation was, you've been paying attention. If you've been paying attention, you can see trends, right? You know what you know what Jerry likes. You know that he's all about selling wolf tickets, right? So this whole thing that's coming out about him infatuated with Kyle Pitts. First of all, Jerry Jones ain't the only goddamn GM or coach in this league or owner in this league that is infatuated with Kyle Pitts. I'm pretty sure that every single front office in the NFL is infatuated with the young Kyle Pitts because he is definitely a generational type of talent. He's a generational tight end, and he would fit well in pretty much any offense that you put him in. Now, as far as him coming to the Dallas Cowboys, who cares? If he does, wonderful. But that also doesn't mean that the Cowboys aren't going to look at cornerbacks or safeties or defensive tackles. They have 10 goddamn picks in this draft. You can find talent all through this draft. It's not just in the first round. See, people look at the draft and it just be like, oh, well, if we don't get in the first round, we're going to be screwed. You know, the talent pool doesn't work like that, right? So, you know, there's only 32 teams, but there's more players out there that have great talent that's going to not be picked in the first round. You found Tom Brady was picked in the sixth, and he's gonna probably go down as the greatest quarterback in NFL history, off of the strength of he has the most Super Bowls out of any other quarterback ever in NFL history. That's one. Two, you can find talent all across the board, so it's not just in the first round. So for those of you that are just like, oh well, I don't want to get Kyle Pitts because we're not concentrating on what we need to concentrate. Even the talking heads are talking about it too, and I'm just like, y'all sound dumb as hell. Y'all should know better than that. Now, granted, they probably get paid to, because you know you got to argue the point left or right. So I'm pretty sure that they're just getting paid to just argue a random point. So, which I'm not in the mood to argue a point that I don't agree with. I can't argue something that I don't feel. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it, point blank. Now, um, when you're picking at number 10, if the Cowboys don't move in the first round of this draft, you're picking best player available. The reason why free agency is before the draft, the whole point of it is for you to get somebody so you're not strapping yourself to try to reach for a player. Because again, there are such things as bust in the draft. Perfect example of that this year, and I'm going to talk about past season too. This particular year, there's probably what 5 quarterbacks, maybe more, but as I can think of right now, there's probably 5 quarterbacks that's going to be picked back to back. Your first 5 picks are probably going to be all quarterbacks. So no, that would make the Bengals pick maybe Penei Sewell because they need Penei Sewell. Because if the Bengals don't pick Penei Sewell, it wouldn't make sense. You need to bolster up their offense. They need to bolster up their offensive line because that's one of the reasons why the young Trevor Lawrence got hurt last year. Is because he didn't have nobody literally out there. I mean, not Trevor Lawrence. I'm sorry. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Trevor Lawrence coming out this year. All these young quarterbacks. Joe Burrow got hurt last season, and I think it was it a game they played us? No. It wasn't. It was after that. But either way, he got injured and was out for the rest of the year, and that is a product of your offensive line not being at their fullest potential. So Cowboys last year know what it's like to not have your offensive line attack. So we know that injuries are inevitable, but you have to cover your ass. You have 53 players on the team. Well, as far as starting, you know what I mean, on the roster. So within that, you have to not worry about just your top players, your core. You have to also worry about your back end players because we know that the mantra that Jason Garrett used to always say all the time, next man up. Well, if that next man is not able to be the right man for the job, then it ain't the next man up. So you have to make sure that next man up is capable to do that next man up type of job, understandably. So there's that. Now, and as far as this draft goes, I don't care if you pick Kyle Pitts, fine. If you get Rashawn Slater, awesome. You got a great offensive lineman for the future. Patrick Surtain, wonderful. You got a corner, and you got a guy that already knows Trayvon Diggs, and he could come in and play side by side with Trayvon, with Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis backing them up. Awesome, but it doesn't preclude you from getting a defensive guy as well. in the free agency, because we know that Richard Sherman, I don't know, he's his own agent. So where he wants to go is where he wants to go. Now, there was talks about him maybe going back to Seattle. We don't know what he thinks about the Cowboys. We don't know that yet, but a statement already came out that he's probably not going to choose a team until after the draft. So there's that. Cowboys can still get. There's still some people out there in free agency that can get as veteran bodies, because you're going to need a veteran out there to help with these younger guys. Because what you don't want on this defense is all your secondary guys, like all your DBs and stuff, being all like first and second year players, because you need veteran presence out there just as much as you need young talent. You need a balance on defense, and I think that with our defense, you know, talking heads talking about something, we got huge holes. Not really. A lot of our deficiencies last year is two things. Mike Nolan was the problem, and not having the right person there to stop the run in the middle. Well, you just pick up Brett Urban. You talk to Bears fans, they said that he's one of the best run stuffers in the league. So, with that being said, he's low key probably one of the best free agents that we got, low key, and nobody's paying attention to that. So, stop with the, oh, E2, man, we're garbage, we're doing this. We don't know what we are yet. Just sit tight, stop complaining, and just relax. I understand how the fan base feels right now. I get it. I understand that, like, we ain't won shit since in 25, 26, 27 years, whatever. I understand that. But ain't nobody more patient than a Browns fan. You saw that they last year, this is the first year they've been good in 14, 15 goddamn years. So greatness takes time. We all were looking at what the Patriots did and what Tom Brady did. Tom Brady is a whole different, like, you can't compare what he did to everybody else in the league, because that is a farce. It's a false narrative. It's a false bar to reach to, because nobody else is going to do probably ever what Tom Brady has done. Maybe not. But it's not easy to win a Super Bowl. It's not. Ask Kansas City. They tried to go back to back. It didn't work. So, and you look at the Buccaneers, they brought back pretty much everybody on that team. So they're going to fight again for that title. So the Cowboys better be smart. Even if you decide you want to get Kyle Pitts, you can still get defensive players. Now, one thing before I end this video, I don't know why they didn't get, they didn't sign KJ Wright. That one baffles me, because if I don't know what the issue is, I'm not inside that building, but if the issue is y'all wanted a 1-year deal and his camp wanted a 2-year deal, you should just give him a 2-year deal, because you can give him that money and stretch it out in 2 years. Or it could be like a 2-year deal, but that second year is voidable. They could have worked something like that out, where it shows that he's under contract for 2 years, but it's still voidable. The Cowboys could have did that. So it's got to be something else, another reason why, because KJ Wright is a good player. So why would you not want that on your team? I don't see why he wouldn't be a good fit. So I don't know. Maybe it's something I'm missing, but some of the decisions they make as far as the talent pool, and I try to look at things from different angles, like, because again, just because a player is good doesn't mean they fit in the scheme that you are. Now, I looked at the type of player he is, and I looked at the scheme fit that he fits. It definitely, everything fits the Cowboys. So I don't know what the issue was there and why they didn't get him, but that was kind of a head scratcher. But we'll be talking more about this as we get closer to the draft at the end of this month, and who we're possibly going to pick in the draft. But guys, just hold tight, just sit still, and just let it ride. You know what I mean? There's no use to crying over spilled milk, and there's no use to stressing yourself out of the Cowboys. Me nor you guys get paid for this team, so they do what they do. We're just fans. That's all we are. So with that being said, it's your boy E2 Blue. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Peace out.